Hello there, and welcome back to Szpakowo. It is December, which is the last month on the calendar. So what do we have planned for this month? We could cultivate our sorghum field. That can probably be taken care of. But other than that, there's not really much to do on our own farm. What I will also do is just take a look at the sell prices of our goods so that we can start building up our finances, preparing for the upcoming machinery purchases. We will also take a look at contracts. Maybe we can do a deadwood contract to top up our carpentry. How's that doing? It's got 7,000 litres. Oh no, it's got 15,000 litres of wood. It's 7,000 litres of furniture. My mistake. So we still have more than enough wood in there. However, we could do a deadwood contract just to top it up and pass some time, given that there's not really much else in the way of contracts to do. But what I might actually do is cultivate our field first, see if any other contracts have come in, and then if they haven't, we'll take care of a deadwood contract. Which field is this contract on? Okay, so it's fairly local to us, so that's pretty good. And then let's take a look at our goods here just to see if we've got anything that is able to be sold anytime soon. Bread is next month, which is fantastic. So we've got a decent amount of income there. And then the grass is going to be fermenting into silage, so that doesn't count. And then February, we've got both of our sets of mushrooms to offload. And then we go through to March for the honey and the silage. And then we're all the way through to July for the furniture. When we look at the furniture, we've got 33,000 euros worth, and it's been 5 months since we've sold it, so we're going to have at least double that when it comes to July. So that's going to be a really fantastic income for us in the middle of... Let's get started then. We'll jump in our tractor and we will get our sorghum field cultivated, and then we'll see what other contracts there are to do. If there's no other contracts, we'll take the deadwood contract and get that taken care of. And then we'll probably skip through to January, maybe February, and start selling off our goods. One thing I will check is our manure pile. In the last episode I did a little bit of an experiment just to see how much manure. So we've got 2,799 litres of manure. And how much straw have we gone through? So 1,400 litres. So I think we get manure produced at twice the rate of the straw we supply. So we can drop the manure on the field. What I did do, however, is download a mod that I found in ModHub that allows you to create fertilizer from manure, lime, and water. And it only costs 25,000. So we may do that. We may purchase that at some point. Maybe we can put it where our house used to be. And that can be a good use for our manure, because I don't really want to buy a manure spreader. I just don't really feel like that will be useful to us, especially because we have slurry to spread on the field. Now, because we have slurry, we probably don't even need fertilizer, but it's better to be able to create our own and recycle the manure than have to buy it if we ever do need it. So I'm not sure if it produces liquid or solid fertilizer. That's something we'll have to look into. I would imagine, given that we supply lime, it would be solid, but we will see. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I was doing some testing in between episodes regarding the sugar beets, or the root crops, and the new mod we downloaded that can harvest sugar beets with no problem. It doesn't need the topper. It seems to have a built-in topper, so I'm not quite sure what the separate topper is for. I couldn't find a use for it, and it didn't really work as a topper when I was testing it. But that's good, because it saves us the horsepower requirements of having the two machines attached to the tractor, and also it's 20,000 or so euros less expense. So that's what we're going to be doing next year, is harvesting the sugar beets. Now, something I would also like to consider is how to get our potatoes in the ground and harvested next season. Let's think about it. Okay, let's first put the steering assist on for this. There we go. I'm going to take a look to see how many enoki mushrooms we have. Oh, we have 10,000 litres, so that's going to fill that piece of the VIP order. Well, that's good. I was just wondering if we might have an extra year for that. Because once we delivered them the mushrooms, all we have is the potatoes and the sugar beet. So ideally, we will get the potatoes in the ground next season, and then we can look to complete this level of VIP order next year. Now, how are we going to achieve that? Is it possible? Because I really want to use this field as sorghum, and that field needs to stay as rice for the next year at least, until we build up our rice stocks again in the grain mill. So we would need to get an extra field for the potatoes. How am I going to handle that? I'll have to have a think about that and let you know. Also thinking, because sugar beets are going in that field next to us next season, they are planted with the planter and not the regular drill, so we will need to cultivate that field as well. So I think I'll just add that onto the end of what we're doing here. So I will continue on with the cultivating. I'll get this field done, I'll get that field done next to us. I might even create a little bit of extra field over there on the far side near where the carpentry is. So yeah, I will continue on and I will see you in a bit. Okay, so we're just finishing off cultivating this second field here, and as I mentioned, I have carved out a couple of little strips extra. Extra crop in the ground and extra yield is never a bad thing, and I feel like that piece of ground to the left there was just being wasted a little. So carved out that piece, and then also a piece at the bottom. I may or may not keep that piece at the bottom as field. After I converted it into field, I thought that might be a perfect place for a greenhouse to go. So we might plant crop in it for next season, but after that we may just turn it back into a regular plot of land for a greenhouse. So just this piece here. We will see. Anyways, the tractor's squeaking at us because it wants a drink. So let's get our cultivator dropped off and get over to the store with our tractor and get it filled up with diesel. Okay, so we have taken our tractor over to the store, got it repaired and filled it up with diesel. Something I mentioned a few episodes ago was building a ramp up to this road here, and I was putting it off, A, because we didn't have much money, and B, because I wasn't quite sure how this slope tool worked. So I managed to do a little bit of practice in between episodes, and I think I figured out how it works. So let's build the slope up to this road here so that we can easily get access to it. So the way this works is you right click the mouse to set the slope target point here. So that's what I'm doing there, and then you go to where you are beginning the slope and you drag, click and hold all the way up to where you want to go, just like that. And you do the same to create the slope like that. It's actually pretty cool how it works. I could never figure it out properly in FS22, and I was really struggling with it in FS25, but actually once you figure it out, it's actually a pretty ingenious way to build a slope. So definitely giving props to Giants on that one. And there we go. So that is our slope set. I've also just concreted over this area here just so it looks nice and neat, and we have a nice little space here now, so we can drive straight through our farm and then up here to the roadway when we need to. What is next? So I think we can probably call it there for December. Let's take a quick look at contracts just to see if anything else has come in. Yeah, there's nothing. There's a couple of massive ploughing contracts, but I'm not going to, we don't have a plough. And ploughing in the game definitely isn't the most enjoyable. And a couple of cultivating contracts, but I'm not going to do those. So we will skip through to January, and I'll see you there. January is here, and it is a profitable time of the year. Why is that? Well, in January, we get to sell our bread and possibly even our mushrooms, depending on what price they are currently at. So where are we at with our bread? 3491. Yeah, we are almost at our premium sell price, and we've got almost 17,000 litres. Okay, so one of our bakeries is at 655, so it's probably still going to take quite a while to generate the extra pallet. Yeah, and that one's only on 292. Our mushrooms are a little bit off of their premium sell price, but I figure if we get all of this sold off now, it'll save us another trip over there in February. And for the sake of, we'll get all of our mushrooms loaded up as well as the bread, and we'll take it all over to Spactrans and get it offloaded. So I will continue with the loading, and I'll see you over at Spactrans. Okay, so we are approaching Spactrans with our very full trailer. We have 5,000 litres of oyster mushrooms, 11,000 litres of enoki, 1,500 litres of honey, and 16,000 litres of bread. I decided to bring the honey along as well, as its best sell price is next month, so I just thought I would throw it on the trailer and get rid of it. And something I realised while I was loading the trailer is that at this point, now that we're producing a considerable amount of product from each of our productions, we really should think about getting some kind of forklift. Anyways, let's see how much money we make. We've got 69,930 euros. Let's unhook our trailer. And there we go. So now we have 148,000. So almost 70,000 there from selling all of that. And also, we have fulfilled the enoki part of our VIP order. So now it's just the root crops that we have to sell. So let's think about how we're going to approach the rest of the year. I believe our silage is going to be sold in March. So that'll get us another 40,000 or so. That'll take us up to 180. And then in July, our furniture is going to be sold. And I feel like that's going to get us another 60 to 80,000. That is going to take us up to, say, 190 plus 60. It's going to take us up to about 250,000. Now, our root crop harvester is going to cost us 100,000. I think we are going to end up renting the vegetable planter, or the potato planter rather. And that's because I'm not planning on doing potatoes long term. Not yet, at least, anyway. So I don't want to spend 200,000 on the planter, only for it to be pretty much useless after we've completed the VIP order. So what I think I'm going to try and do with the remaining 150 or so thousand, let's say 120,000, is maybe buy another field. And that will allow us to plant both potatoes and sugar beets next year. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll get back to the farm. We'll figure out which field we're going to buy. And we will do that. So yeah, I think this is going to be the field. Now, I said I wasn't going to buy it till March, but the crops have to go in the ground in March, so maybe we should just buy it now. And then what I think we'll do is skip through to February, and I think we'll put potatoes in this field, because this is the smallest field out of all of them, and potatoes are very high yielding. We don't really have a further use for them at this point, so we can offload them. So we'll put sugar beets in this field, because that's 3.34 acres, and then we'll put sorghum in this field, that's 4.5 acres. So that is going to be what we're going to do. Let's hit the purchase button. And we now have our, what is this, our fifth field? Yeah, our fifth field. So we'll go over to our precision farming tab, and we will purchase the soil information. So that's the composition of this field here, and this is going to be our sorghum field going forward. So we are at the part of the field that has been slightly encroached on by the trees and everything. So yeah, I think we'll just go through this bit, chop all the trees down, and again, because we're putting them in our carpentry, we don't need to worry about stripping them and making sure they're in premium condition. But I think this will be a nice top-up for our carpentry. So I will continue with this, and I will see you in a bit. So I've made an executive decision to start a new business stream. Puppington Farms is officially entering the mobile bush providing service. So we just provide trailers of bushes to whoever needs them. That's my latest and greatest business idea. We are now a mobile bush providing service. So the way this business works is people call me up, they need a bush, and I deliver it. Bushes on demand. Bushes as a service. Bushes on demand. Something like that. For example, if someone wanted a bush to be delivered right there to next to their carpentry for whatever reason, maybe they're having a posh client come and visit their carpentry and they just want a bush. There you go. I can deliver the bush temporarily and then take it away when they're done. I think that's a great business idea. What do you think? I don't know why I can't reverse into here. Maybe just a little bit of brute force is needed. Oh, it is, yeah. Just a little bit of brute force. Never did anyone any harm. Okay, so how much wood do we have in here? 14,376 litres. There we go. Oh, got 5,000 litres and we still have quite a bit of bush left. So let's reverse in there a little more. And let's get rid of the rest of the bush. 6,000, almost 6,000 litres of bush there, so that is absolutely perfect. Okay, so now I need to somehow find a way out of here, and I think I'm just going to drive through this person's farm. I think that makes the most sense. I'm pretty sure they won't mind. We'll ask them afterwards. I'm sure they won't mind. Farmers help farmers, right? It's a community thing. So let's head back over to the farm. And I think what we will do next is grind the stumps in that area we just cut the trees down from. And then we need to convert that piece of land into field. And then we need to spread lime. So what I'm going to aim to do then is do the stump grinding and turning it into field in January, and then we'll probably leave the lime spreading until February. So I had to take over from the AI worker to get to this piece of the land because it was trying to go all the way around the edge. It was trying to go all the way around the fields on the roads, so I decided to take over and do it myself. So over at the field, what I'll do is get the stumps ground down. I'll convert this piece of land into field and I'll get the lime spread. I said I was going to leave it till next month, but I may as well do it this month. And then I will come back to you when we are complete. Okay, so that is this field prepped for planting sorghum in March or April. Well, I think it's April, the month for sorghum. And I thought of something while I was prepping that field, and that's that I didn't include in our budget estimates the money for the production to process the sugar. So I don't know if we're going to have enough money to purchase that with our furniture income and our silage income, because the vegetable harvester is going to cost 100,000, and we have a few expenses coming up in terms of rentals, and we need 36,000 for the sugar mill, so that could potentially pose us a problem. So we will have to figure out how to get around that. We might need to do some mid-year selling of our crops at less than their premium price. We will see. Our farm's starting to get big here, so it's getting exciting and more fun to play by the day. Anyways, I think this is a great place to leave this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying following along. If you are enjoying, please do give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will hopefully see you in the next episode. Till then, bye for now.